going to go ahead and jump right in with Grant Ramey, Mike Wilson, and Troy.
Rick, with Santi, career high 23 points. He made 6 threes. He made those 4 in the first 8 minutes of the game. How important was obviously what he was able to do on the offensive end?
It really is important. It reminded me of his first game here when he walked on the floor at 2 days practice against LSU. Remember, he came out and hit some shots like that. And he has struggled a little bit lately. And I think some of it is me maybe asking him to do a little bit too much. But he knows that he wants to be good, but he was playing with a lot of confidence today. And every game, we still got to get his teammates wanting to go get the ball some and let him not have to work so hard bringing it down the floor, because people are going to do that, obviously, to try to wear him down. But Santi was terrific. Jaden Springer, I thought, played his best game. He had some turnovers there at the end he shouldn't have, but those are learning experiences.
Yeah, Rick, you just mentioned Jaden. How do you evaluate overall his game? And seemed like he might have had more hand in playing a little bit more point than he has in some other games. Is that the case?
I thought he was really solid defensively, and he's going to learn so much as he continues to go. These next couple of weeks are going to be huge for he and Keon and the other guys that we get out there. These minutes are really valuable. But Jaden handled himself really well today. He's a really gifted player. Certainly offensively, I think he's deceptive in what he does. Made a great pass. We ran a little set to get him Folky down there in a 2-man game, and he made a great pass to Folky, and Folky missed a dunk. But that's a great pass. That's just his talent, just seeing it and making the play.
Jerry Stackhouse said that given Missouri's COVID issues and South Carolina's issues, that there's potential you guys will play back-to-back with Vanderbilt next week. Is that something you've had discussions about? We've
heard it, but we don't know. We'll know. I would say on the radio show, Reed Sigmund just told me that he thought we'd know something definitely by tomorrow, but it might be, we might know something in the next couple. We don't know. By the time we get back to Knoxville, maybe we'll know. But that's something that we've heard as well.
Troy.
Rick, going back to Santi, I guess just how much have you seen him improve in terms of taking care of the basketball? And I guess just how important was it for you to kind of get him to do that after maybe he wasn't so great at it last year?
Well, Troy, the big thing is he's got himself in shape. He's in so much better shape. And what he did a year ago, I will tell you, I've said it many times, it's unbelievable that he walks out of the NBA Academy, gets here with 2-3 days of practice and goes out on the floor. And when we are in total disarray of what's happened, you guys know I've talked about it many times, how many different ways we had to remake ourselves a year ago, but for him to come in and do what he's done. And then he obviously, as soon as the COVID hit, he went home. He was one of the last players to get back, but we appreciate the fact we told him what he had to do, and he came back in the best condition we've ever seen him. And he continues to do that. He's a smart player, crafty, all those, anything you want to put on it, but he's competitive. He's a very deceptive defender. I know for a fact his teammates love what he's about. We still have to help him more. We're putting too much on him. We got too many guards that can bring the ball up the floor. He's very good off the ball. But some of that's his pride that he wants to handle it all the time. And I get that because that's part of who he is. But we've got to continue to teach him that he's got to conserve some energy along the way.
Coach, I get you to lean back just a little bit. You got a little bit of a Wizard of Oz vibe going. And we'll go to Wes and then Rob Lewis.
Which are you saying? One particular character on the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, the wizard, when he's like, all you see is his face. It's kind of scaring people.
I like it. I've never been called the Wizard. I like it. Go ahead.
Rick, when you look at the sort of the defense overall today, and then how do you square that with some of the rebounding numbers? Because you hold a team to 54 points, they shoot a low percentage, but you got out rebounded by I think 8, and it was wider than that at times. How do you measure all those things?
Well, we knew coming in that a big part of Texas A&M's game is rebounding. We knew that coming in, and we knew that we were going to have to. And there's so many different things, Wes, that go into it. If you're going to be a heavy gap team, you're giving teams, that means you're going to be closer to the basket. That means you're giving your opponent a chance to get a run and start. And you're going to have to be able to get turned around, get back and try to make some contact and go get it. So, again, I think our guys battled. We gave up 2 to start the game that we weren't real happy about. But overall, I do think our guys fought, and against a team that does an unbelievable job of rebounding the ball.
You had a shot at being the Wizard of Westwood there, Coach.
Well, that's true. I don't know if I'd have been the Wizard of Westwood. I could have been the Tin Man or the guy that doesn't have the brain, the Scarecrow, but I don't know about the Wizard of Westwood.
But on the game, Coach, you had two guys who led you in scoring on Wednesday, Josiah and Victor, who they had 17 each. Today they have 5 each. What does it say about your team that you have that much balance and, you can seesaw like that offensively?
Well, I thought we showed versatility today. We put a team out there that we have never played with, practiced with. We actually put Keon at the 4, along with Eve at what would be the post guys. They were playing what would be called our post positions, and then we had VJ, Jaden, and Santi. And those guys actually had a couple. We're going to run into a couple possessions and see how it went, and because we do think that those guys can guard anybody for possessions, obviously. But I think that's our team makeup. We don't have to be a one-man team, and that's what we've tried to talk to our team about. Now, there's a way we've got to play, but we knew they were going to double team Folky today. We weren't sure which way they would come with it. For the most part, he did a good job of getting it out of there, and that's what got it sprayed around. That's what got us going early. And we knew that we were going to have to get the ball side to side. But again, I can see that happening every game. We could really start a different lineup every game. It wouldn't bother, I don't think, anybody in our room. And I can see scoring being different every game too.
Last 3 for Coach go to Gustavo, Nicholas Hill, then Ben McKee.
Coach, in terms of defense performance, Yves Pons, he had a lot of blocks. How do you evaluate Yves in terms of defensively? How important he was, especially blocking the ball?
Yves, every game, he's as big a part of winning every game we win as anybody that we have. I mean, he's always making winning plays that don't show up in the stat sheet. Obviously, he blocks shots. We know how good he is there, but we love him because everybody knows how hard he works. And I will tell you this: once he makes a 3, he's going to get off going because he works too hard. And just like Santi went through a stretch, a couple games, but he can shoot. We know Eve can shoot, but Eve can do so many other things. He just gives us a great weapon defensively because he can, as we've said many times, we can put him anywhere on the floor to guard anybody. And then when he's away from the ball, he does a tremendous job of coming over and making plays.
Coach, Emmanuel Miller for Texas A&M was averaging 18.5 points a game heading to this game, yet your team held him to only 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting. Just how big of an emphasis was that coming into this game for your defense to stop him from being as effective as he has been offensively?
Well, obviously it's important. It goes back, and again, I can rave about our assistants. They do an unbelievable job of scouting teams and trying to give our players the best cheat sheet that they can give them. And today I thought our guys did a really good job of helping each other, trying to do the things that we ask them to do through our scout. And it's always a team effort. It's never going to be one guy, even though we know Eve anchors that defense. It's a multiple effort by a lot of different guys having to play against players like that.
Coach, last year when you played A&M in Knoxville, you weren't too pleased with the rebounding and handling A&M's physicality. Were you pleased with handling A&M's physicality today?
Well, honestly, we went back and looked at that game. It was a really hard game to watch. We weren't very tough, and they came in and beat us any and every way that you could beat somebody. And we talked about it. They're not. That's what they do. That's their part of their identity, their makeup is that they're going to make you work on the boards. And so, yeah, we talked a lot about it. We knew we were going to have to rebound the ball. And with that said, overall, I mean, we want to win the rebounding battle, but I thought our guys held their own against a team and they're as good as anybody you're going to play against.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.